Welcome back to another episode of making a video game in Unity using C Sharp. Last episode I showed the saving and loading, and you probably noticed that I was like retyping things over and over again. Um, so I said in the last episode I was going to try to condense some of that, and I would just do it off screen. So I started working on it, and then I said, well, you know what, I might as well just record what I'm doing. So this video is just me changing some things. How much I talk or don't talk, I don't know. If you want to skip this video, you can, but it's just uh, me trying to change how I do things with the game objects and creating game objects. So just what I've done already, I basically commented out all these prefabs, and I've commented out all of these building things. And instead, I have an all prefabs, and I have a let's see, all game objects. And I created one function so far, which creates a game object based on a string. All right, and oops, based on a string, and I have another function, create game object based upon an ID. So the string one, what it does is it loops through all the prefabs, and then it's going to create that. And actually, I create another function that does this. So we'll say game object temp, and I don't know how much I'll show of this. I'll just do for a little bit. I might not talk as much because you can kind of get a little bit more. There's a lot I have. You can see how many errors I have. I have 17 errors, and that's probably just going to increase as I keep taking things away and changing it. So it'll probably be a while. I don't even know how long this video is going to be, or how interesting it will be, because I really have to redo a lot, I think. And then I have to test and see if it's all working. Let's see, game object is going to equal to get prefab by string. Yeah. Actually, this is creating a game. You're sending it to the string, but then the string, basically this function is going to, you send a string and it's going to create it based off the ID. So it's never, so it does that. So let's see. Temp game object, get prefab by string, get prefab ID by string. We're going to say int I is equal to, just delete all this, is equal to get prefab ID by this string. Prefab string. And then we're going to say game object dot temp. Temp game object is equal to create game object I, comma, location. And then we will return the temp game object. All right, so I did that. So now this is creating a game object. This creates a game object. This uses the ID though. We want to start getting rid of these IDs. We don't want IDs anymore. We just want this to be, we're going to call this a string. ID string. Okay, we just want to stop using ID numbers and just use the name of the, because that's what this function does right here. If I go to it, it searches through all the prefabs, and then if the prefab name matches the string we send it, then it's going to return I. I also have one where it just returns the prefab itself, the game object. Send the string. If the name of it is it, then it returns that prefab. So going back up here, resource string, let's go to, whoops, go to definition, no. String. Okay, this is causing a problem. We want this to be a string as well. So we're no longer using IDs numbers. You just have to make sure your every string is unique, which they should be. You know, when I'm naming them, these game object prefabs, I'm naming them, you know, not the same names. All right. Let's go to this definition. This is a gather object resource. Oh, let me go back up here. Resource drop. Let's call that a string as well. String resource drop ID. Go back here. Maybe I typed it wrong. Okay, so that's now creating the game object based upon that string that this game object has. Add resource name. Create game object based on that resource name. That's good. There was something else I had. Okay, so the takeout resources. So what I did with the takeout resource is, what did I do? Okay, so right here, it's getting all the resources based on this type. This is a function I made. Let's go to that function. It's going to get a list. It loops through all of our game object prefabs, and it checks to see if this is a resource type, and it's going to return that list. And then create the game object and carry it. I might come back to this later and redo it. Resources, go to definition. That's no. Anyways, I'll come back to this. I think I can change all this now that I'm creating things by a string and not the I. But let's leave that for now. So I was here, building prefabs, get component. So this is where I want to get, all right, so this is sending a building string prefab. So let's say we're building the, but we need to get this building ID. Actually, we want to, we can do it, we can actually do it this way. Let's create the building first. So buildings have a little bit different setup. So game object, we're not going to instantiate it. We're going to create game object, building prefab string, comma location. All right. Building prefabs. We're going to take this. We don't need this anymore. We're going to get the building is going to be this now. Get that component. Temp location, nope, we built it already. Because when we create a building, it's already has a check whether we can build it or not anyways. So set grid, we're going to do building, wait, temp building. What was it before? Temp location. Whoops. This is just building. Temp building. And this will be temp building location. Dot transform dot position dot nothing, right? Okay, vector 2int temp location is equal to, this doesn't want floats or integers. I should probably, in the set grid, just change it. If you call it vector, if you send a vector, it would change it automatically. All right, temp. Should I do that? Let's just do it. Go definition. Vector 2. Let's just call it whoops, let's just do that. We're setting an integer anyways. Let's go back to the map manager. So now when we set the grid, we can just do that. Temp building, transform position. All right. We don't need to, do we want to add it to all? I got rid of this. So let me delete it. Temp building, transform position. No, we don't need that. No, let's leave this because we would just make sure that we're setting it to the 0 for the height. All right. Like I said, I'm just going to go through this and keep fixing all these errors where I've changed things. Right now we're down to 10. All right, so let's see where this is with the test map. This is creating, what is this creating? I don't even know. This is why I need a comment. Let me just delete. Oh, this is creating that building. So in our create building, we want to send a string, and so let's send it the store the storehouse. And again, we gotta make sure that we save that did that correctly. All right, so on the build action, when we create the building, we don't want to send it the building ID. Let's go here. What we do, we're just going to change, go to the definition, change this to a string. I'm going to say string. Okay. This is kind of redundant. I think I can just literally just say blueprint. Just get rid of this. All right. Save all data. Ooh, boy. All right. Watch this. Watch and learn. We're going to make a new list. No, hold on. Do we have this? Yeah, I think so. A new list of building. And we're going to call it all buildings. Again, I haven't tested this, so I don't know if this function even works. Map manager dot instance dot get game objects with type of building. And doesn't like that type of wait, hold on. Get game objects. Let's see, what is it asking for? Let me just make sure. Yeah, building. Building. And this should be a building. Type of building. Connect convert. We're going to say game objects. Okay, so now we have all the game objects. Now this works. No, it doesn't. We want to say game objects. We're going to change this anyways, right? Let's just leave it for now. And then we want to say building dot. Now let's change this to game object. And then we're going to say building is equal to building game object dot get component build building. This is not in here anymore. It's here. Okay. So it gets all the game objects in our world, or at least the ones that we want to save in this list right here. Let's go to this here. Let's fix this spelling mistake. Just go back, change that. All right, we want to do the same thing. And again, it would be nice if I could streamline this where I don't have to copy and paste it over and over again. But I think part of the reason why I need to do this is some of these building data is going to be different than this. So in here, what if we just call it all game objects, and call this all game objects. And that way I can just, I do the same thing. All game objects. Now these all game objects will only, and I do this, and I say the type of resource. So for each game object, and let's just call it geo. Let's change that to geo, or temp geo, whatever, right? We're going to change this to temp geo. I'm just thinking how we could do this different. Temp geo. The reason why I'm doing that is so that when I do copy and paste, I won't have to retype as much as I was before. Just using kind of the same words. So like if I copy this, all I need to change is the resource. And even to make this better, instead of, we're going to call it component. And so all I have to do is change these. So do it up here too. I'll change this to component. 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 And so the only thing I really need to change is this. Now it'd be nice if I could somehow can't I? Can I? Ooh. What if private set save by type? So this is going to get a type. Type. I'm going to say temp. I'm going to say my type. What am I typing wrong here? Let me go here. The type or namespace type cannot be found. What? Why is it called types? Class Unity types. Is that the difference? Let me go to my map manager and see if I'm using systems in it. And that's why I was able to get it. Yeah, looks like it. Let me go back to here. So where was that? There we go, now it works. Alright, now I forgot what I was doing. We basically want this. Okay? This is what we want. Because we keep doing this over and over again. So it makes no sense. And actually, we want this as well. Because it makes no sense of us having to retype it all over and over again. Okay, so this is going to get a game and it's going to find the M type, the one we're sending it. I don't know if this will work. No, shoot. What if I just get rid of this? Yes, it does. Okay, can send that type. So then it loops through it all. And so instead of doing this, we're going to do okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. We can do this. Control X. Dot save data. Now the thing is though, we have to add it to this list. So here we need to send a list of, oh boy. How do we, does it matter which one I send it? Can I just say type? Can I just say var? Oh man, I don't know. If I send it a list, it wants a specific list. I really want to say type of, oh man. All right, let's do this. Because it doesn't know how to save this or which one to add it to. Or does it? No, because we don't want building. We want to say get component, my type, type of, my type. Why doesn't it like that? That's save data. Okay, component does not contain a definition of save data. Ugh. I was so much hoping that you could do this. Man, I was hoping so much you could do this. Because it doesn't know the type, it doesn't really know this function here. Again, I'm just going through trying to change some of this. Well, let's hold off on that. I'll come back to it later. Okay, so going back here, we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. So basically what I would do is I would copy all this, paste it here, and instead of doing resource, we would say gather object. And then instead of resource, gather object. And gather object. Wait a sec. Oh, we gotta say save data dot. Let's change this. And this needs to be changed to gather data. Let's go to definition and change. Wait, what? Let's go to this one and change this to gather objects. And let's go back to that, save and load. And change this to gather objects. Alright, we're down to 8 errors. This is setting the data. Create building, build data, build prefab ID. So let's go to the building, and we want to inherit from base data, so we don't need these anymore. And up here we want to call this a string. And this is just called prefab. And this is called prefab. Okay. And so here we call this prefab. Alright, that's been fixed. Instead of resource, we want to say game object. And that's fixed. And actually we can get rid of all the, we can change and just say vector2. Yeah. Get rid of all that. So then in here, gather objects, create game object. Okay, save it. Alright, what function are we in? Create a blueprint. We don't have blueprints. Alright, we're going to send it a string because we're getting rid of blueprint. And all prefabs. Building blueprint is equal to get blueprint component. So we just need this ID. So int ID is equal to get game object with type get prefab ID by string, and we'll send it the blueprint num, and then this will be the ID. Okay, and then building null. There's no building. Which there will be. I don't even know if this is necessary anymore. To have the building, to have a building component. Oh, wait, this is, we won't call this blueprint. Call this blueprint. All right, check if a building can be built at the grid location. Check building location building. We're going to call it blueprint. And then call this blueprint. Blueprint. Let's get rid of this temp location. Let's just call it location. And then we don't want to instantiate this anymore. We want to, hold on, let's just create game object, and we have the ID and the location. All right, that should create the blueprints. All right, we're getting there, we're getting there. Still got some bugs, got 2 left. All right, what's happening here? Take out resource, we're getting a list of game objects. Oh, I changed the name of that. I have no errors. Okay. Hold on. Let's see, what is it doing? We do have some errors. Must contain. Map manager does not contain a definition of. Alright, so what is this? This is just, okay. This was testing cycling through the buildings. Shoot. Okay. Let's just take this out for now. Darn it. Trying to think about how to do this. I mean, this is just for testing, so that's why it's like, oh, I can just get rid of it, and I'll figure it out. Like when I have a UI and I click a button, it would say like the string name, and that would make it a little bit, or even the ID to know what blueprint to do. Let's just do this real quick. Let's build num. This is gonna be a build num is 0. Build num num is 0. So if I click B, just do a int build cycle, and let's change this to, actually let's do build ID, which equals to 0. Testing. Let's go down here. We're going to say if, let's do this, build num is equal to 0, else if build num is equal to 1, else build num is equal to -1. Okay, so I click the B key. So now we're going to say build ID is equal to mapmanager.instance.get prefab ID by string, and we're going to send it the string house blueprint. This is going to be storehouse blueprint. Okay. And this is going to be build create blueprint. Do I still have that? Let's go to this. Did I name it like that? What do I call it? Build ID. Oops. This is already taking a string. Go to definition. This is already taking a string. Let me go back to this and change this then to a string. And then we're just going to do this. Okay. Well, okay, resource num is going to be a string. Okay, now comes the tricky part. The big time tricky part. We don't have any errors. Let's go to our map manager. We no longer have all these prefabs. Let me lock this for now and go to our blueprints, add our blueprints. Now what we can do is, if we're slick about it, we can actually find all these resources and load them all up automatically, so we wouldn't have to do this. But for now, we're going to do this. Whoops. Add the berry. Add the wood. Okay, now we need to go into each of our prefabs and set some things correctly. So here our build ID needs to be house or farm. And our building ID where's that? Don't I have that somewhere? Blueprint. Do I need it? This. Ugh. Total workers. I thought there was a. This is the building ID that we're going to build. Public build prefab ID. That's what I'm looking for. Build prefab ID. Do I need this anymore? I don't know if I need this anymore. This has a build ID. This is the building is building. This is a blueprint. Let's go to our blueprints. Actually, let's go to our interactables. We want to have a, oh man, public string prefab ID. Do I need this? So where's, is blueprint not an interactable? Let me save this. Let me go to our blueprint. That's right here. It's a storage object, which is an interactable. Oh, right here, blueprint ID. So we're going to call this. Oh, no, we're not using. Okay, we're not using. We're using their names. Let me go back to this interactable. We're using the name. We don't need the string. All we need to do is here. I don't even know if it needs this at all. We just need the ID. The build ID is farm. This ID is house. And this one is storehouse. Okay, our building. Let me rename this. Storehouse. I don't actually, do I need to do anything here? Building prefab ID. Why do I don't need that, do I? I'm just using the name. This is just going to be the name. No. Oh gosh. It can't be the name because the name would be like something building.clone. What we want to do, I want to do this stuff automatically. I don't want to have to go in there and type in the name of our prefab after we built it. What we want to do is, since this is a build type, can we get the name? Can we get that string? I have this map manager dot instance dot get prefab ID by string, but we don't have that string. Let's go to my map manager and can you see how this gets the prefab by the type? Gets a list of all the game objects by the type. What if we do something similar? Public, what is this? Public string get prefab name by type. Oh, no, we don't want that. Okay, because I'll just, no. I think we're going to need this. String prefab string. I think we're going to need that for all of them. So this build prefab ID is equal to prefab. Huh. Interactables or a building's not building. Why? Interactables are just the actions. Let's get rid of that. Let's go back to building. Yeah, building. Public string building ID. Down here, we'll say building ID. And this needs to be the prefab. paste data, build data. Okay, this don't do that. This is going to be prefab ID, prefab ID. Sorry. Building. The heck. Building ID. Building prefab ID. Building prefab ID. And that's a string. So we're going to say farm. House. And storehouse. Okay. Resources. We're going to say berry. Whoops. Why is my B not working? My letter B is not working. Come on. Are you kidding me? The letter B will not work. My keyboard decided not to work. Alright, let me plug this keyboard in. Excuse me while I do this. So let's take this out. Now this one's a little bit louder, clicky clackety. That's kind of annoying. Okay, that's not working here. So something's just messed up. Because I'm trying to... Alright, you know what's probably the problem? Go into my resource ID. Resources. Oh, resource name? Oh my gosh, I'm what is this for? Why is that an int? This is probably for something. We're going to change this to a string. And let me switch out my keyboard again. So like I said, this video is a little bit longer. You can skip it if you want. Except, you know, but I'm just going through and changing a bunch of stuff. Alright, so this is going to save data. Resource pref... Okay, some of these things I didn't. This is going to be base data. And so I can delete all those. And then this is going to be prefab. Change this to... Okay, that's good. I think that this string here used for display. I think that's what I'm using that name for. And this is going to be prefab. Okay, let's go back here. Maybe. Let me save this. All right, our berry resource, we want to call this berry. And we want to change this to wood. And actually, I think I'm using this in other places. I have no idea if this is going to work. I just am going to save everything. Save project. Come on, save project. Save, save, save. Let's play and see what happens. Whoa, look at all those blueprints. What in the world? Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Let's go to our test map. Oh man, that's so funny. All right. Let me get it together. That was funny. I know why it's doing it because I'm in my test map. I'm just getting like the first game object and all those objects. We want to just do, let's see, tree. And this is going to be bush. Let's see if this works. So it's funny because it's like, oh, it's kind of working, you know, but it also didn't work. Let's see. All right, we got some errors. We probably never set this name, resource drop ID. We want to say berry. Gather prefab is going to be bush. And I might not have added any of them. Resource ID is going to be wood. And this is going to be tree. And then in our map manager, we need to add these. Bush and tree. Okay, so far so good. Let's start playing the game. So far good. It dropped the correct things. Dropped that. He's not dead, he's just sleeping. Okay, we gotta test this out. Let's take some berries. See if this is working. Um, hmm. Oh, he ate the berry. Because I was like, why didn't he take it to the storehouse? Because he ate it. All right, let's build a blueprint. I don't know if this will work. Okay, out of range. All right. So let's go to our clicky clackety. Question is this what we're... And actually we want to do... Now you know what? Yeah. If it's 2, we want to say farm. Let's see if we're getting these names correct though. That could be the problem. Project. Blueprints. We need a capital P. And this is a lowercase h. Now let's save it. Let's go back. All that's fine. Build. We're building a storehouse. Building a farm. Building another farm. Building a house. Building a house. All right, get to work, guys. Come on, build that. They're always laying around on the job. All right, we got an all reference though. Got quite a bit of them. Carry object get component resource is equal to resource food. If we are already, all right, let me just clear this and see if that error when that error happened. Let's click, 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 click. Okay, taking that to the thing. Let's build. All right. Let's see our villagers. Villager. Where are you? Okay. You are carrying. Carry object. Oh boy. We got the wrong resource. Look at that. We are carrying a blueprint. Okay. We carried a blueprint. We carried a blueprint. So let's see this, because we took it out. And when we, so it's in the takeout action. So maybe this is not working. Do we not get, did we not get it? This is getting a target resource. Wait. No, this is saying target resources. So, if resource name is equal to resource, if the resource name is equal to resource, then we're going to create a game object based on I. Debug.log resource prefabs dot I. Let's just see what it's getting. Let's build something. Let's chop that down. Let's pick that up. And let's pause it. Okay, so it got all the resources, got the berry, it got the wood. It creates this game object based on I. No. No. We want the resources. Um, let's think about this. Uh, I am so smart. We're going to get the prefab. Did I do that? I thought I did it. Ah, man. This is not what I really want to do. So maybe I'm not that smart. I'm kidding. I was kidding. All right. Get prefab ID by string. I don't know. Right? This is the name. It's then going to find the prefab ID based on this name and then send this ID to here. Well, why can't I just do the name? Hmm? Why can't I just send it the name? Duh. I think that should be right. We'll find out. Add the building. Grab this. Pick up sticks. Take it there. Go get it. Okay, we got it. Build this. Build it. You can build it. Yeah, all right. Now, let's save the game. S for save. Okay, we saved it. Let's see. Let's look. I don't know why I think it's funny. Because I'm just expecting it not to work. Save files. I mean, looks good to me, right? I mean, I didn't get an error. Let's click play. Let's load. All right. We're not doing the loading correctly, which either we're not saving it correctly. I don't know where it got that extra farm from. Actually, it. Okay. All right. I know why I got the. Something's not right. I mean, obviously something's not right. Well, I'm going to save this. I might take a break here, but I'll probably do the rest off camera. But I probably just need a break. At least we got the functionality mostly working. I'll probably need to also test more. But I know this video was probably a little bit longer than the other ones. This was just me trying to fix or try to make things a little bit more streamlined, so I'm not just copying and pasting things over and over again. I would like to do it even more, but we'll see. All right, anyways, thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.